Hey guys, Clumsy here, and welcome back to Derail Valley Overhauled. Thank you for the amazing feedback, all the super useful and kind comments, and constructive comments in the past episodes. Glad to see that you guys are liking the series, and thank you for all the tips. Really working a lot. In this episode, we are going to tackle on the big boy. This guy, the beast, or whichever nickname you want to give it. The steam train is something that I am feeling confident about now. And I know I voiced a lot of negative comments. Maybe not so negative, but not encouraging comments before with how limited and how restrictive this train is. But I take that all back now. It's all super cool and I love it now. It's great. So let's go ahead. I start off from the beginning. We start things off. There is a basic quick guide for this. I won't go through all the steps in detail, but I'll try to go through all the steps that you need to do to make the train work, and I'll try to explain it in my own words. We'll see how well that goes. Let's go and load up with a little bit of coal here. And before you even close it, how you start this train is you shove some coal into it, you get your lighter, and you throw that in. Yes, you throw the entire lighter, but for some magical reason you still have it with you afterwards. Don't ask me how. That's how it works at the moment. That looks cool. Make sure we have enough water in there. Fill it to the brim as much as possible is what I learned. Like so. Watch the temperature rise caused by the coal burning here. Heat coming up. That water will be turned into steam, which will increase the pressure in this gauge here, and that will allow us to move this train forward or backward depending on where we want it to go. That is the independent brake for the loco. Though this one is the train brakes, and this one is our I don't call it reverser, it's I think the cutoff switch, cutoff wheel, something along those lines. Let's have a look. Let's be technical about this. Cutoff something, just cut off is maybe enough. But yeah, we move that forward like this, so we move forward and to the back, so we reverse. So like a reverser, but with some more things in there. Alright, so we can see that the train is starting to heat up. The pressure is starting to rise. The water is starting to evaporate. Let's keep that topped up. Thank goodness for keyboard commands, for hotkeys. Alright, that is looking pretty good. And before we continue with the journey, you can actually do a check yourself on the... And this is reflective, because you'll need coal, as we did. You'll need to shove that in periodically throughout the trip. And you'll also need water, as we did as well. And you can see the level of water here. Yeah, we have mostly full level for coal and water. This train is very fresh, so we should be pretty good in that department. Looking good. Alright, I think that's enough. We can actually move forward already. So thanks again guys for all the comments, for all the tips that you've given me. We will for sure try and do and implement as many of them as we can. But I'd like to highlight some of them as well. Some of them have been really helpful, and I've learned a lot from those tips, and trying to learn more as we go along. Stop. I might actually derail this thing, even from the beginning. Yeah, I think coming it that close, I think has a real danger of really derailing once you move the turntable. And yes, you guys told me it is indeed called the turntable, which is where the DJ's thing got its name from, not the other way around. Thank you for that history lesson. Alright, so let's move back a bit. Apply the brakes. Have a look at it from here. That looks much better. Now for this trip, we are actually going to take this one from the harbor to the food factory. And in terms of the map, let me point that out. We'll be coming from here and we'll be going there. And I think the ideal route is exiting to the east, making our way through like so, passing through the goods factory, turning left here, looping about and going there. So we should be exiting on the east. And thank you for the comments, the constructive comments. Looks like some people did not like so much the second screen, the station map on the second screen, and that's perfectly understandable. I'll keep that open, but I'll in addition also show it to you so you can ride along with me. So we are in the harbor right now. Let me show you where we are going here. So we are currently at this point. Yes, I think you call this the roundhouse. Not the kick, just the roundhouse. We are going to section E. And if I get any of the terminologies wrong, you let me know, okay? So we'll trace our way through, go past here, backtrack. And the goal is to face to the east. So the train should be facing east, which means this is the turntable and the roundhouse. So we should be facing to the east here, which means we have to rotate this. Okay, that's what I take away from it. If that makes any sense at all, we'll know later. I've derailed this train a couple of times here in this turntable simply because I was too far on the edge. Now if that was justifiably derailable, or if that was more of a physics bug, can't really tell. But at the end of the day, I derailed and I lost a couple of bucks there. Alright, but that looks good. So I think we are good to go there. Alright. That's all well and good. Reverse. Let's release the brakes. And so this is, I think they call the regulator. This is the closest thing that you can link up to a throttle. So you push on that regulator to give it a bit more power. Tell the train that you want it to move along. And this one here will tell if you want to reverse or go forward, but it's so much more than that. I think actually this cutoff wheel here is the trickiest part of this train personally. Alright, slow down here. So let's go through some of the comments. Gaurav Avinash is actually someone who is watching the videos, and he commented, he gave me a tip, which is very coincidental because I watched the same guy. So he recommended a guy to me, a YouTube video of a guy who has a tutorial on the steam train. It has been very helpful, and I highly recommend you guys go and watch it. It's quite a long video, but I learned a lot of things, like where to stand on this train, the things you do, some of the useful hints that you can start with, and then from there you can probably work on your own and develop your own technique. But it's a very good place to start and understand how this train works in the first place. But yeah, one of the things that I hated the most about this train before, and I did that wrong, didn't I? Yes, because I keep on talking. So let's go off the regulator here. Let's put on some brakes. I keep on talking, so I even forgot to flick the switch there. Don't mind me. Let's do that again. Alright. Forward and back, forward and back. So, one of the things that I hated the most about this train when I first tried it out, aside from being super tricky to operate, is that the view is not really good. That is, if you keep yourself totally inside the cab like this, like how it is with other trains. Because like with the shunter, The visibility inside the cab is well and good, so you can actually look wherever you want, and it should work. Release the brakes, please. Let's shove some more coal in. That looks good there. Because the temperature is falling and the pressure is running out, that means we are losing power in the train. That means we need to introduce more fuel for the temperature to come up and the pressure to come up again and fill up the water again. So yeah, it's a constant balance doing all of these things while you are operating the train at high speed and doing commentary as we do everything here. So it's going to be a bit tricky. But yeah, the thing I hated the most on this train initially is if you stay inside, even if you sit like this, if default key is X, so you can see from here, right? But imagine only looking at this small window and seeing, oh, is there a speed limit coming up ahead? Is there a switch? Is there a... And it's everything else. If you look here, you can't see anything. Yes? So it's going to be very restrictive. And someone actually said it feels claustrophobic. So they don't like it. But watching the video actually is very good. The video from Downey Please is his name on YouTube. I'll give the link in the video description so you guys can check it out. Probably explains stuff better than I do. But he gives a tip that you can actually stand here on the edge and peek out. And this way, you have much better visibility outside and you can even see your speed from there. So like you can have this view and you have an idea how fast you're going. And then if you need to look at the other dials, you just peek back in and you should have more than enough in here. Yeah, so that's how it works at the moment. Now, I think I'm missing a few switches in here. That should be... Oh, it's going to be hard to flick through. We'll have to do jump there. Jump there on our own. That's left, left, right. Okay, because the job that we're taking... Oh, and this is a tip from Nestor. Yes, Nestor, thanks a lot. He is giving me a lot of tips through the videos, and one of the cool ones I figured out is you can actually attach to the cars, move your train coupled with the cars that are applicable for the job even before you validate this, even before you start it, so that the timer isn't starting yet. And you can verify that this is the same job that you're referring to. I used to only match the cars here like yellow, white, yellow, yellow, but apparently you can actually look at the job number itself, like here, HBFH75, you can match that there. So you don't need to guess anymore and match each and every car with a diagram. You can get confirmation immediately that that's the thing that you are looking for. Exactly. Let's get a few more coals in here. That's going to be one tip as well. Don't need to fill this to the brim every single time. You have to regulate it, because the more coal you put in, the hotter it will get. The more water you will consume, and you don't always need that much water. There is such a thing as too much for this train. And although the train won't really explode or anything if you put too much steam, there's like a steam release valve or something as a fail-safe. That means you are consuming more coal and water than what you should, or than what you need to. And that means you're not being efficient. And that means for longer trips where you need every bit of coal and water, then that will become very deadly very fast. I actually ran out of water in one of my trips as I was practicing with this train, because I keep on just refilling the coal and not really thinking about it. But that is one of the beauties of this train, the balance that you have to strike. Just the right amount of coal, just the right amount of water, and all of those different things. So what we'll do is we'll go straight to the junction here, we'll move the switch, and then we'll reverse onto the cars that we saw a while ago. This is going to be filled with diesel. It's going to be 441 tons. That's going to be pretty heavy for our shunter, but that should be no problem for our steam train. This train is rated for up to 1,000 tons. So as long as I manage my power correctly, we should be able to manage just fine. We tap on the brakes here. I think that's the junction we need to be mindful of. That one that we just passed, so let me brake here. And yes, keyboard controls will be absolutely essential for this train, so you don't have to always speak back in. That one, move to the right. Yes, yes, okay, good. Alright, off we go. So if you have any tips for me, see anything that I'm doing wrong, let me know in the comments so I can improve. But please be gentle. No, constructive criticisms is always welcome. Just like what Geert gave us, telling us about the station maps, wanting to see it for himself instead of just me keeping it on the second screen. So those things are very helpful. Looking good. Now let's slow down. How close are we? Oh, not very close. Should be fine. Yeah, it's kind of hard though, because the remote doesn't really work with the steam train, understandably. Even if you have this fancy remote, it doesn't work with this train. Yes, I've tried. I was hoping that it will, because like shunting like this, it's not really the easiest thing. You'll have to go out and check things for yourself like this. But yeah, it's all part of the challenge of this train. My goodness, it's an amazing looking train though, huh? And the horn, you haven't heard the horn yet. We'll do that once we start moving, if I remember that is. But yeah, this standing here on the edge and peeking out, this is, I think, one of the most essential skills you will develop. You can develop for this train. Otherwise, it would just feel so cramped, just looking through that small window down there. Okay, I think that's good. Was that too strong? No, I think that was just enough. Good. Alright, so let's go ahead and couple to this thing. Get that in. Looking good. Turn on the valves. And off we go. Awesome. Alright. So that is looking pretty good right there. Let me double check that we have the steam. Yeah, I'm at 18 bars already. If you go past here, like at around 19 bars past the limit, you will hear like steam coming off. That's probably like the pressure release safety mechanism. I don't know what the technical term is, but it gets rid of the extra steam. So the train will not explode, but it will not be efficient because you lose a bit of steam that you will not be able to use for power anymore. So that's something that I would like to prevent, but that's something that I still need to learn. I haven't quite mastered that skill yet, the art of being efficient with a steam train. First problem is getting... What? Debt has been reduced. That's a bug, definitely, because I just paid it off. Okay. Wow, where did all these fees come from? That's definitely a bug. Alright, but yeah, let's just fix that. So I can pay you off. I can actually service them one by one. These seem to be the locos in this yard. I have been able to accumulate quite a bit of money though, thanks to all the practicing I've been doing. And this is already with the DE6, the large diesel train license bought up. So I was able to buy it already. So maybe next episode we can go with that, or we can continue with the steam train depending on how this thing goes, how this job goes. So wish us luck. Right, there we go. Now it's working. So that is the E50, E5 outbound. Echo 5 outbound. That is the same one here. Let's just double check, triple check. Okay, it is indeed the one we are in. Alright, looking good, guys. And where is all my steam? Why do we not see any steam in here anymore? Did my fire go out? Yes, it did. Okay, that's fine. And off we go. Alright. So let's go and take the shovel, get some in here. We'll probably need a couple of them since we'll be starting from idle. Cut off full forward so we have the maximum torque. Water is good. Pressure is 18 bars. That's perfect. Temperature is climbing. Off we go, guys. Brakes are off. Brake pressure is high. And let's hear the horn. I think it's 2 toots for when you're moving forward. It's kind of hard though. I'm good with that. Alright, let's keep this moving. Slowly first. I love those sounds. Initially, I wasn't such a fan, but now I got used to them, and I keep looking forward to that chugging sound. And if I don't hear the chug, it's not as fulfilling. Alright, that looks good. In terms of the station map, we should be on Station E, Section E. So it should be just straightforward till we reach the exit, the east exit. Nice. So the tricky thing about this train is even if you're moving forward, is that just not stay there. You'll have to play with this a bit. The faster you want to go, the more in the middle this will have to be so that you can get some more speed in, which seems very counterintuitive, at least in my opinion. But yeah, you kind of get used to it somehow. As I mentioned, you heard that? That's with the pressure building up too much and I'm not using enough of it. So right now I'm not getting very efficient at this, but as long as we are safe and as long as we are moving the right direction, I think I leave it be for now. I didn't need to load that much coal apparently. Now that is 40 kilometers per hour speed limit but uphill. So I think what I will do is I will push forward on the regulator more so that we can continue gathering up speed up to 40 kilometers even on an uphill. This train relies a lot on momentum, and if you lose that momentum, it will take quite a while to build it back up, especially if you don't have enough pressure in your gauge there. Let's put that in. But yeah, looks much better looking out from here than sitting in here. Let me show you. Normally I would just do this. 80, okay, 80, but you just peek out this small window right here, which is very limiting. So no more like that, thank you. And that bell I think that we heard means we are out of coal. And that might mean you need to put in some coal, but not always. It's not always the case. Sometimes you don't really need that much power, but I think in our case we do. So what we'll do is we'll open that one, shove some coal in, maybe just 2 loads in there, 2 shovelfuls, because we are starting to lose pressure. So ideally I'd like to keep it at around 16 bars if possible. So let me move this back, maybe we can get some speed. But this is something that I really have trouble with at the moment, finding the right notch here. And Downey Please, the maker of that tutorial, put it in a very nice analogy for me. Like this one, you can think of this as the gearbox in your car, that you have manual transmission. And if it's full forward like this, that's first gear, and each notch represents like second gear, third gear, fourth gear, something like that. So the faster you want to go, the more you turn that notch backward. And that should give you access to more speed at the cost of torque. Something along those lines. I think for our case though, we need to be very careful here, so I think we are losing a lot of steam. We need to put a lot in here. Load in 3 here. Yeah, I can hear the chugging going slower. You're slowing down. I think we need full torque here. Back to first gear. And if we need more temperature fast, we can open the blower. That should increase the temperature dramatically. That would increase the burning rate of the coal though, so we'll have to refill that faster. But that should increase the speed at which we build up pressure. So it's a steady balance here. It's quite difficult in the beginning over in these parts because the harbor is like at the bottom, like sea level, right? And whether you go west or east, you're going uphill. So the initial climb is going to be very challenging. Water is still in a good place. We need more, even more coal. Later on, as we gather up some speed, we won't need to put in that much coal. Hardly anything at all once we build up momentum. But yeah, I found that in the beginning, we really need as much as we can. Keep chugging it along. Thankfully though, I see that the tracks are going to level out soon with that sign, white and blue. So that's perfect. We should be able to start gathering some momentum in there. Let's have a look at the map. Yeah, no junctions. Just need to regulate our power. Let's get some more water in. Now that we're starting to pick up some speed, move to second gear. Sorry, I'm going to use the gear analogy, okay? Because that just helps me relate more to it. In this one, you can think of this as your pedal. Like when you step on the pedal of your car, depending on how much power you want to be using. That's the way. Uphill again, oh no. But we are starting to gather some momentum, so that's good for us. But I think we still have the blower on? No, we don't. My goodness. We'll need a lot more of this. You know what? I'll go full load here. I think 5 loads is the full load you can go. Because this is uphill and we can go up to 80 kilometers per hour. So we have a lot of headway. We have a lot of power requirements. Fill the water. Make sure that's always topped up. I heard that in reality, if the water level goes below half, the steam train can actually explode. So we have to definitely be careful about that. Everything good? We have that on our backs. Awesome. Keep the pressure steady. But yeah, lots of things that you have to monitor, especially compared with the shunter, right? Life was so much simpler back then, but we have transitioned to the big leagues now. It's an entirely different ballgame. Looking good. Keep it steady. How are we on pressure? Maintaining it. After a while we'll need to fill up on coal again. As you can see, the temperature is starting to go down. But finally we're leveling off. That means we can ease off the regulator for a bit. And let the pressure build back up. But man, peeking out like this, even if you have to hold the button the entire time, really helpful. Because you get to appreciate all the views again and have perfect visibility in front. Awesome. That's perfect, 60. And I'm actually on idle now. I've pushed the regulator back all the way. Top up on water. So now that we've let off the regulator, now that we're back on idle, the pressure is starting to build up again. That's perfect. And yes, let's just maintain 60 kilometers here. Now that we are starting to gather momentum, you can see how fast those wheels are turning. It's amazing, isn't it? And now the fun begins. I hope. And yes, I won't need to top this off anytime soon, I think. Unless we encounter another hill up ahead. I don't think so. Looking good. Everything is well. Water. Constant attention necessary. I think how many people are involved in a real steam train? At least 2, maybe 3. But yeah, one person doing everything, that's a lot of workload. Let's toot the horn just because we can. Doesn't that sound amazing? That's the bell that indicates there's no more coal. Do we need to top it up? That's a good question, I'm not so sure. We have pretty high pressure and we don't need as much on the power department. So I think we'll leave it for now. Maybe we'll top it off with one load, one shovel of coal, just so we have an extra in case we come up with some hills up ahead. There we go, now we can really let this thing go. Move the cutoff as close as possible to the center. That's just going to be the highest gear. And that's where it really shines. Looks like we'll have to slow down here though, because we are approaching a junction. So we have to be very careful about this. 70 and then 60 up ahead. Let me just tap the brakes here a little. I'm expecting we slow down to 50 or even 40 at that junction. And I have to make sure that we are turning the right way this time. You know what, let me jump up ahead. 50. Yeah, that's the wrong direction right here. This is what I hope would change. I would hope to have like a map where I can change the signals ahead of time, so I don't have to jump off the train just so I can do stuff and select the proper signal, select the proper direction. We're going the right way this time, right? I hope so. Okay, good. Off we go, guys. Punch it. Semi-punch it. 60 here. Off. Water is filled. Leave it like so. Awesome. Well, we are moving at least. The heaviest load I've taken with this train is, I think, 700 plus tons. Not too shabby. It was a very hard trip. I didn't make it in time for the bonus, the time bonus, because I had so much time. I took so much time in the harbor going uphill because I couldn't manage my power well. I saw that we have a slope coming up, so let's go and punch that in and load some coal in advance, so we know that we will be consuming a lot of power. Yeah, you can see pressure is starting to fall off now. Ideally, I would have done the loading of coal a few seconds earlier, maybe. Anticipated it a bit. But at this point, maybe not that important anymore. It was not such a long stretch of climb. And we need to really slow down here anyway, apparently. 30? Oh my goodness. Where did that come from? Slow down. You can see the speed there. Okay. Phew. Did it. It looks like we have a slope going downhill here. Let's move the cutoff a bit forward here. Come on. Give me some power. I think I stepped on the brakes a bit too hard there. It's not stepped, but pushed on the brakes a bit too hard. That's fine. Better safe than sorry. Turn that valve off. But yeah, now you get an idea of how much work it requires. And it's just, wow. So exciting once you get the hang of it though. So fulfilling once you pick up speed and get some momentum going. And that sound, right? That sound. Ease off on the regulator here, because I'm expecting that bend will require us to slow down a bit. And yeah, this way I think we are driving very economically. Although now I think we'll have to really push it again. Seeing that uphill slope there. Let's get 3 loads in here. Prepare for this climb. Top up the water. Peek out. Make sure we have the updated speed limits. Looks good. Pressure is holding, even if we are pushing on the regulator. Temperature is rising as we've given it a few more loads of coal. Ease off on it. I don't want to get too close to the speed limit because it can change drastically at any point. 70, but uphill. Alright, push it again. That's the goods factory. Yeah, this is the same route that we took before in the previous episode, I think, or 2 episodes ago. Can't remember which one. But it was not by choice. Definitely not by choice. Right, 80 kilometers uphill, but with momentum on our side, we can actually make it work. Look how fast that thing is going. My goodness. And now we have to slow down. Which is fine, let's just let momentum take its course. It is uphill after all, so we just go to idle and speed should bleed off on its own. Although right now I think we have to aid it a little. Going to 40, that's perfect. Let go of the brakes. Build some pressure back in. Just keep this in like so. Get some more power in. Top up the water. Yeah, the workload is immense, but I'm loving this. Push forward on the cutoff more so we get more torque. And once we gather up enough momentum, we can increase the speed again. That's working pretty good. Let me see. Any turns coming up? There is a sharp turn right there. You can see that thing looks pretty sharp. So I think we'll have to slow it down. Yeah, 50 here. That should be good enough. Yeah, at this point I'm just eyeballing it. There is no like exact science to it for me. But I guess that's the art. That's the beauty of this one. I think 2 loads would be enough for now. Oh. Go to idle. Because that just suddenly changed to 40. And that one looks like it's 30. Alright. We are well in position here. Actually, let me put some power in. Refill the water. So you can imagine how much work this entails throughout the entire trip. Get more torque in. Is this uphill? It does seem like it, huh? I think I missed that sign. So my goodness, we're really pushing it. Need more coal. 2 more loads maybe. Love it when it's chugging along like that though. Beautiful. And I think when the chugging, not so sure, you guys let me know, but I think when the chugging gets less, when the chugging sound becomes less, that's the sign that we can actually switch to a higher gear, so to speak, and speed up. There is a junction there, and I think we should be turning right. No, we should be turning left. That's the wrong direction. Change that, thank you. Speed limit up ahead is 40. So it should be safe to just coast along like this. Everything good. Can top up the water. Close that back up. Alright. Did I go the right way this time? Yes, I did. For a change. Alright, let's push on it. And I think we can do with 1 more load of coal here. And guys, as always, sorry if I'm missing some of the terminologies, especially with this high stress situation. I tend to go back to my trucking terms, so I might start calling things trailers again instead of cars, you know, things like that. Let me know, but yeah, just cut me some slack during these high stress, high workload situations. Right, looking good. Let's get some speed back in. There is a bit of stuttering, that's just how the game is designed at the moment. But I've toned down some of my settings, even though I can get normally a high frame rate even with like some ultra settings in there. It's not ideal. I think higher settings means longer stutters, which makes a lot of sense. So I try to not turn it back up so much. So most of the settings are average right now. How are we? This is just straight ahead, and then we will be looping around. Yeah, it should be fine. And yeah, we are... we can actually go faster. Let me open the door here so that the temperature won't be as high. So you can hear that we're actually expelling some extra steam if I've generated too much, looks like. My goodness, we are building up speed here. And we are on idle. This is the momentum I was talking about. And we'll have to slow down here. I see a 70 sign up ahead. Faster, please. Don't scare me like that. There you go. That should be okay. Alright. We saved ourselves from that one. Okay, so while we have a bit of... Oh, looks like we're out of coal. It looks like we need to slow down even more. Down to 60. What's that speed limit up ahead? 80, okay, that's fine. But yeah, look. I didn't even need to top up on coal. What sec? Did I just derail or something? That didn't sound very good. Oh crap. Oh no. That might have been... there might have been unintended consequences there. Oh my goodness, that is not how it should have gone. Well, at least now we've seen how a hazardous material explodes. Well, I was just, you could say, featuring one of the new features in this update. Things actually go boom now. And I'm not sure what I did wrong. Maybe I approached that a bit too fast, but we were 60. I'm going to replay the footage. But this is why exactly I don't follow the speed limit supposedly down to a T. I try to be like 10 kilometers lower, ideally. Yikes. Well. Okay. Well, we try again in the next episode. We'll see how it goes. A bit of a cliffhanger. Hopefully we do better next time. We'll see. My goodness. That is going to be a lot on the insurance payment. Alright guys, I'll catch you next episode. I'll figure out how we can get this train back on the rails at least. I think I can do this pre-rail, but at this point I'm not sure if it's worth it. Maybe I just go in and I just fast travel somewhere and I get rid of the job. You know what? I'll take you with me so that you can get experience on what that is like. So if we go and maybe teleport fast travel with loco, that's only 1,000. Yeah, because we're so close already. Yes, why not? And then we, I guess, have to cancel the job. I'm not sure how we cancel it though. I've never had to cancel a job before. My goodness, this is a disaster. We'll see, we'll see. We'll figure out how to make it work. I think I was a bit too trigger happy with the speed. I enjoyed it a bit too much. And now it's not loading anymore for me.